Good morning. Thanks to everyone for coming to today's morning meeting. We're super excited about our guest, Megan Pieper with COAD, the Corporation for Appalachian Development. I'll read her bio here in a second and hand it over. But before we dig in, I wanted to do our weekly legislative update on what's happening at Cap Square and in Congress. I know folks are anxiously watching the progress of congressional negotiations. We do still have the shutdown, and our advocacy alert is still alive to try to support investment in childcare as Congress comes back together. So we'll put that in the chat here. If you haven't already filled it out, please take 30 seconds and do so. At the State House, legislators are back in session in Columbus. We were tracking this week a new bill in the House Children and Human Services Committee, House Bill 484, sponsored by Representatives Click and Odioso, who are both in the majority. This is a bill that would provide categorical child care subsidy eligibility for child care workforce. It's a companion bill, if you've heard of Senate Bill 177 in the Senate, sponsored by Senators Blessing and Timken, also majority members. So the Senate version hasn't yet gotten a hearing. The House bill had its first sponsor hearing last week, and our team is tracking opportunities to provide proponent testimony. So we'll be sure to share that out with folks once it's live. Um, we are anticipating a few more weeks of legislative activity before things are probably quite quiet in the new year. So expect a slew of bills to be introduced. They won't all necessarily move to that proponent-opponent testimony phase, but I'll put those bill numbers in the chat. Thank you, Vanessa, for putting the action alert in. You're so oh, and Sarah. Everybody's got that action alert going. I love it. And the last groundwork plug that I'll make is that our Momentum Institute is next week on the 23rd here in Dublin at the OCLC. It is a really great lineup and agenda of speakers on lobbying the Ohio political landscape, State House news media. We have a national pollster coming in to talk about what Ohio voters think about childcare access in Ohio. And we're going to have some really special guests in the afternoon and a great awards ceremony. So I would love to have you there. I'm about to turn it over to our friend Megan Pieper. Megan is the Child Care Business Support Specialist at the Corporation for Ohio Appalachian Development, and she is a dedicated professional and passionate advocate specializing in expanding childcare access and facilitating business partnerships for childcare. She partners with businesses, schools, and community organizations to design effective strategies for solving the childcare issues affecting our workforce. And with the goal in mind of changing the approach to opening new childcare businesses, she'll share key projects and methods that led to successful programs. And I got a brief little sneak peek. I'm excited to see the tangible things that are happening. And I think folks will really be excited to learn about the great work you're doing. So thanks for joining us today, Megan.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so again, I'm with COAD for Kids, and we are the Early Care and Education Division for the Corporation for Ohio Appalachian Development. A little bit about what that is. We are a nonprofit, and we basically our mission is to just provide representation for the communities that we serve and to improve the quality of life in Appalachia. This is our territory. So they serve the Appalachian region of Ohio. We have 3 offices. Our new Philly office actually just recently moved to Dover. But you can see their territory there. And then SDA 10 is our Marietta office in the orange there. And I'm down in the Piketon office. So you can see the counties that I cover in the yellow. When we decided to begin facilitating business partnerships for childcare, it's kind of new to us. So we chose to kind of let data drive our approach. So we created a survey for the top employers in each county of Appalachia that we serve. We wanted to know if employers were aware that their business was impacted by the shortage of childcare and what that impact was. From that survey, we discovered that employees were missing work or having to be accommodated with remote work or alternative schedules due to childcare barriers. We discovered that when companies are recruiting workforce, and a deciding factor for potential talent was access to childcare. We found that businesses who operate multiple shifts often have trouble staffing second and third shifts because they can't find evening and overnight care. And overall, 88% of the employer's workforce and operations were impacted by the shortage of childcare. So from those results, we realized we needed to create a change. So we then started aiming to create a shift in the approach to expanding childcare access for working families. So our next step was, once we surveyed employers to find out what their needs are, we asked them to find out what their employees' needs are. We found that some companies already had surveys in place, that they polled their workforce periodically. Um, and so we kind of helped them mold their surveys to cover any needs for childcare. And for others, we helped them create surveys from scratch to help get the results. And the results then helped us pinpoint childcare deserts and not enough access to childcare, trouble finding childcare for second and third shift. And then we kind of helped pinpoint the families who struggled with childcare costs. Um, then we took those results and we created a resource for businesses to use as a guide. So every time that I approach a business about investing in childcare, I present this to them. And it presents several options for investing in childcare or creating access to childcare. This toolkit is actually, if you want to see the whole document, it is available on our website, coadinc.org. And let's now introduce you to some of the projects that I have been working on. We actually hired a videographer, a close-up video in Adams County, to kind of help us create some pieces to showcase these projects. Um, Corey Cutler from Close Up traveled with me for about a week doing interviews and putting all the pieces together so that we had, something to present this to everyone. So it's the first time I've shared these publicly, so you're getting to see them for the first time. Um, but Holzer Health System is building a 11,000 square foot building that will be house a child care center for with the capacity for 104 children. Um, and it's going to be on their main campus in Gallipolis. And I think we tested this out, and I think that you can hear it. So let me know if that's still the case. But I will introduce you to Troy Miller, who is heading this project at Holzer. Oh, nope.
Play based, you can do something about it.
Let's start that over.
Child
There we go.
childcare has been a crisis for us in healthcare for a while now. If you have a big enough employee base and you can do something about it, jump in, help us solve the crisis. We're developing a childcare center to grow and support our workforce from an other business perspective, working as we did, calling COAD and saying, tell us, what are we looking at here? We need to rely on resources that know it, understanding that up front.
All right. I actually,
Childcare has been a crisis.
sorry. Okay. Not going to let me move on.
Is it stuck on the video loop?
It might be, and I don't know. Okay, there we go. Oh, now I went too far. Sorry. So I actually attended their groundbreaking last week, which was really exciting to see, this project coming to life, because we've put a lot of work in this just in the planning stages for about a year. But this project is funded by the Appalachian Community Grant through the Governor's Office of Appalachia. And I found it interesting. I actually learned that night that they they wanted to make sure that they invested those funds back into their community. So they've hired all local contractors to do the work. And the next project I want to talk about is Goodwill of South Central Ohio. Um, they decided to open on-site childcare to support their workforce and the community's working families. They were the first Goodwill childcare in the state of Ohio and the third in the nation. And their former CEO is now a current board member, Marvin Jones, and he is actively involved in legislation and advocacy for childcare. So I'm still in contact with him. We still work on some things together. But we also interviewed him, and I will let you hear from him. Maybe. Well,
The kids attending on a
there we
regular
go.
with our child care center. We have about 40 kids attending on a regular basis, and hopefully we'll be getting up to 60 and maybe even 80 in about another year or two. We have about 50 employees here in Ross County. 5 or 6 are taking advantage of it. COAD was there every step of the way to help us, and they're still there helping us out. We are providing a real service for the people of Ross County and getting people back to work.
All right.
Hey, Megan, if you don't mind, before we move on to the next one, we were getting lots of compliments in the chat about like these projects are super exciting and we love seeing success. Um, Someone is asking who you worked with to help draw down and find that grant funding that was, I think, for the Holzer. I think you mentioned the Appalachian Community Foundation, maybe.
Yes, so that was the Appalachian Community Grant, and they applied for that through the Governor's Office of Appalachia.
Thank you.
So I think if you go on their website, I think there's still access to it and more details there.
Awesome.
We helped them a little bit apply for that just by supplying like data for them for their application, a letter of support, that kind of thing. But we helped them, kind of get the plan together because obviously that childcare was not on their radar.
Yeah,
And so yeah, that's where those funds came from.
fantastic. Thanks, Megan.
hmm Were there any other questions?
That's the only one at the moment, but I also noted we might have a little time at the end. So
Okay, yes,
thanks for letting me
perfect.
popcorn in.
Yes. So we started on this project. This project started really with a conversation at a career fair in Adams County with Columbus Industries. And they were just trying to figure out basically how to solve the childcare barriers for their employees. And we talked off and on for a year or more. And then we just started kind of getting the community together. So this project was the Eagle's Nest Daycare in West Union is basically just a collaboration of the whole community coming together. And they met about once a month for a year, pooling all the resources they could and just inviting more and more people every month to join the meetings. The Adams County Christian School had a building and 10 acres that had actually been donated to them, and it was sitting empty. So they allowed us to use the building to open a childcare center. Um, and then local agencies just kind of pitched in and helped getting all the inspections done and, looking over their kitchen to see if it needed anything. Like really, just the whole community came together to make this happen. A local contractor actually provided the materials and the labor for any of the renovations that needed done. Um, but I mean, overall, the entire community of West Union came together to make this happen. The center is managed by the Adams County Christian School, but is conveniently located next to Columbus Industries. So their employees have nearby access to childcare and an after school program. I guess really the key to doing this kind of work is, and finding the solutions is to just be creative in your thinking. I've sat in rooms that I never thought I would be in. And I've made partnerships in places I had never dreamed of. So, it's out there. Everybody has this need. Everybody knows it's a need. It's just figuring out um, how to put all the pieces together and make it happen, and getting collaborative in your efforts. And I will play you another little message here. I feel like maybe I need to. There we go. 100,000 working parents in Ohio have had to reduce their work hours due to childcare barriers. 88% of employers in the Appalachian region have reported being impacted by the shortage of childcare. Employers are spending, on average, $5,000 per employee every time there's a turnover. As an employer, you may be wondering how you can get involved. You can add support for childcare to employee benefit packages. You can allow for more flexible work schedules. You can invest in existing childcare to accommodate your employees. Or with COAD's assistance, you could consider opening your own childcare center. All right, so 100,000 working parents. I'm sorry, technology is just not my strong suit. I apologize. Um, so the work doesn't end there. We do have some other projects up and coming. The Brown County Christian Academy. They are getting ready. They've gotten their building prepared, and they are getting ready to open an on-site childcare center as well. Dragonfly Village, which is now owned by Future Plans, they have a plan to open a childcare center on their campus as well. Western Local Schools in Pike County, they have a student and adult career center on their school campus, and they have space to open childcare as well. The Meigs County Community Center, that is another kind of community collaboration, very similar to the one I spoke about in Adams County. The whole community is kind of coming together, meeting periodically, adding more people to the group, and just to see kind of what comes out of that. And there's plans for an aquatic center in Gallia County down on the river that will also provide as a training center. And they want to include childcare there as well. So hopefully in the next year, you'll start seeing some of these projects coming to life. And there's my contact information and our website. If you want any more information, I will let that linger so you can write that down if you want to.
Thank
And then,
you so much, Megan.
yeah.
I can't believe how many projects are out on the docket to come up next, too. That's so exciting.
Yeah, it really is exciting. And I think that people are seeing it happen for other people. And I kind of hope it sort of turns into the cool thing to do. And then everybody wants to do it. So, um, yeah, it is exciting.
Us too. I'm like, I want to tell everybody about this and make them want to do it too.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Um, we got another chat question.
Uh-huh.
Can you share any involvement that you might have had from Ohio Means Jobs?
Yes. Um, so they are involved, they were very involved in the project in Adams County. Um, they're aware out there that, you know, I think she told me that the number 3 ish barrier to getting to work is childcare. So they were very involved in the process and really just pulling any resource that they had, anybody that they knew, any connection that they had made, and just inviting them to the meetings and making sure everybody was showing up at the meetings. So they were very actively involved. They're involved in the project in Meigs County as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We also got a comment from Bob with Toledo Tomorrow, and maybe in the reports related links, but the impact numbers around the investment referenced in the video and related work would be great to share. Those will likely speak well to partners in all of our communities trying to bring in projects like these,
Mhm.
which is a great point.
All of those survey results are in that employer toolkit that I mentioned that is on our website.
Amazing. And I think I linked the right website in the chat, the COAD for Kids main page
Yes. Yeah.
earlier. And we'll send out that link with the recording to this as well. I think, Megan, if you're comfortable with us sharing your slides too, we'll share all of it in one
Yeah,
nice
absolutely.
little package.
Yeah.
Are there questions from other folks? People can feel free to hop off mute and hop on camera too if they're feeling caffeinated and ready this morning. Lots of kudos for the great work.
Thank
Um,
you.
Julie, thank you so much for putting information about the shutdown's potential impact on Head Start specific to Ohio. If folks have a couple seconds to fill out their advocacy alert, I can't recommend enough. Please do that this morning.
Thanks, Brittany. We'll be getting something out later today to start to mobilize. So Head Start grants are funded different months. And so we have 7 in Ohio that are counting on their funding in November to continue operating.
I really, really hope we don't run into that deadline. Thanks, Julie. Megan, I have another question in the chat. Do these programs have framework for living wages and benefits for early educators? I'm sure this has come up in lots of ways and shapes throughout your work.
Yes.
And maybe it's a different for each project, I'm sure with so many different partners and
Yes,
capital
it is
stacks.
a little different for each project. I think that the Goodwill childcare employees are Goodwill employees. And the Holzer employees will be Holzer employees.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Adams County project, they're going to be employees of the Christian school. So I really just think it depends on, your funding and your resources and what you are able to pay those employees.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be very different for each project, but
Yeah.
it's something that we have definitely touched on. We know that the average wage is about $15 an hour for childcare workers. So, anything above that is, a win.
Improvement.
Yeah.
And then we've just got another comment about how short of supply childcare is in Southern Ohio, and some more thanks for the important work that you're doing to bring real slots to families.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I would really encourage folks, if you have more questions, please do keep Megan's contact information. As we talk to legislators and chambers of commerce around the state, these questions pop up constantly. And I think it's really, really exciting to have some concrete examples of community partners coming together to create expanded childcare opportunities for families. And as much as we can do to kind of sing the praises of what went right wherever we can. I know that there are folks in kind of those decision-making seats around the state who want to hear stories like this. So it's really things are really tricky right now with so much public funding, and we have so many questions and uncertainties and fears, and it's great to see some things moving in the right direction in Appalachia. So really appreciate, Megan, you sharing these really exciting projects, and just kudos on the great work that you and your team are doing.
Thank you. Yes. And thank you for inviting me to share.
Yeah, absolutely. So please take Megan's info down. A quick reminder, we are off next week because we'll be hosting our Momentum Institute at the OCLC. So we will not have a morning meeting on the 23rd. We'll be back on the 30th, and we'll announce that speaker here in the coming week or so. But really appreciate everybody's time this morning. Appreciate the partnership with COAD, and congrats on the work you're doing, and hope everyone has a fantastic Thursday morning. Please fill out the Head Start action alert before you go. Please, please, please. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Thanks, Megan.
Thanks.